Hey guys, Savage Recovery back for another video. How are my savages doing? If you guys aren't subscribed, do me a favor. If you want to support the channel, subscribe, hit the bell, get all my notifications. Hit a like, comment, share, help me out with the algorithm. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, you can find me at savage_red_studios, where you can see all of my photography. And also I have a Facebook page and a Twitter. And you guys can check me out on Patreon. You guys can also check me out on the Cash App. Let's get into it. Hey, how are my savages doing? Here's a good video that's going to be just to break narratives. With the election going on in the last 4 years, also during the Obama presidency, there was been a lot of racial tensions that have been increased, and there's been a lot of teaching to the public about racism and stuff like that that isn't true. So let's just, let's just read an article and you tell me how you guys think it would go if it was reversed. Alrighty, so this is from Mail Online, the Daily Mail, okay? Alright. So, serial killer healthcare worker, 48, accused of smothering 14 elderly women to death and robbing them, is charged with 3 more killings and is being investigated for 1,000 deaths and attacks. So this right here happens to be the gentleman. Just happens to be the gentleman. All right. A suspected Texas serial killer has been indicted on 3 additional counts of capital murder after previously being charged with smothering 14 elderly women to death and stealing their valuables. A Dallas County grand jury on Tuesday indicted healthcare worker Billy Chemirmir. I have no idea how to pronounce that dude's name. Sorry. I got Chemirmir. I don't know. I can't tell you. He's 48 on murder charges in the deaths of 3 more women who were killed at their traditional Peston Woods Senior Living Community in Dallas between July 2016 and December 2017. He's a Kenyan national living in the U.S. illegally. So, for the idea that we should just let everyone in or whoever in with immigration, and why we need to have borders and why we can't just take anybody, here's a great example. A guy from Kenya who was working around people that couldn't defend themselves, who were elderly and had money. Had we had tighter borders and more checks and more things being done with illegals, he might not have been able to kill these women. He now faces a total of 17 capital murder charges and 2 counts of attempted capital murder stemming from similar attacks. Medical examiners report and civil lawsuits have also linked him to 7 other deaths in North Texas, but so far he has not been formally charged in those. Many of the deaths now attributed to him were first listed as deaths by natural causes, as no foul play was suspected. So here's 3 women. Now, just to just an idea. So there's this guy, as you can see, and then there's these 3 women. Okay, I'm assuming, because obviously who the killer is, all these women were racist. Like that's what it has to be. That's the only thing that makes sense, right? Because that's what we're told. America is just racist and white people are just racist. So these women were racist. That's probably why he murdered them. However, once it was identified as a suspect in March of 2018, detectives began reviewing hundreds of natural death causes to attempt to identify other potential victims. He is still being investigated for nearly 1,000 unsolved deaths or attacks, mostly targeting elderly women in nursing homes.
He remains in jail on a $11.6 million bail. He has maintained his innocence. If convicted of capital murder, he faces the death penalty. The suspect's defense attorney, Philip Hayes, told the Dallas Morning News that the evidence against his client is circumstantial. If you look at all of it, it doesn't stand up. The trio of deaths that sparked the latest rounds of indictments against him first came to light in civil complaints that had been filed against the retirement community where they lived. So, here's two more women. After her death, the woman's son reported that the safe was missing from the room. So here's two women. Here's two more. Here's two women. Just last month, Margaret White was found dead at the traditional Paisleywood complex where her apartment was found to have been stripped of her jewelry. A day before Christmas in 2017, Doris Wasserman was found dead on her bed just hours after spending time with her family. And then, like, there's just a list. Here's some more women. Some more white women. So, the reason that I bring this story to your guys' attention is because if you look at the FBI crime statistics when it comes to interracial crime, 90% of the time it's a black perpetrator with a white victim, and only 10% of the time it is a white perpetrator against a black person. So, all these women must have just been racist. You know, they must have all been racist. Completely, all of them. Every single one of them, right? The 17 women that were murdered, all of them had to be racist, right? Like, that is the only logical conclusion, right? Because they're white, they were racist, and that's why they died. Because that's all that, like, that's what CNN tells me. ABC, that's what they tell me. We're just white and racist in the country of America. So why would anyone from Kenya want to come to America and be here illegally and work for a living if we're so racist? And then he just so happens to run along 17 women in retirement communities that are racist too. Crazy. People always want to bring up like David Ruth when David Ruth didn't kill 17 people. He didn't. He did not. But this man clearly is charged with killing 17 people. He hasn't been convicted yet. He is innocent until proven guilty. But long story short, he was here illegally, and he's not white, and all his victims are old, and they look white. This woman right here might be Hispanic. I'm not too sure. But long story short, the idea that America is just racist it's a lie. Are there racist people in America? Yes. Are all white people racist? No. Are the majority of white people racist? No. Is there a problem with illegal immigrants murdering people? Yes. Do we have a problem with race when it comes to white people being victims? Yes, we do. You guys tell me what you guys think down in the comments. You guys can follow me on Instagram. You guys can also follow me on Parler. I am there, and I'm also on Twitter. I also do have a Patreon. You guys can get on the Discord and talk to me directly. And as always, guys, stay savage.